Alright, so you've caught your first trout. Now we need to take care of business here. What you're going to want to do is smack it on the back of the head. That's about the most humane way, fastest way to put them out. Now to clean this, we're going to look for the rear vent. We're going to pierce that with a knife. We're going to keep our hands, you don't want to grip it like this, you might cut your thumb. I just put my hand up here into the rear vent. We're going to cut forward all the way up to the bottom of the chin here. And now we're going to make a cut down right behind the gill plate. But we're not going to go all the way through. Those are just nerves. So we've got a little bit left here. We're going to grab it like this and we're going to pull apart. And most of the guts should come with the head. That'll get you one little package back into the lake. Now, get the swim bladder out of the way. Now we want to get rid of this dark line right here. That's the kidney, the bloodline. Just score it with your knife and scrape it out. Now, if you want to get rid of most of the slime, you can descale it just by using your knife and running forward. But we're going to do that at home. Now you want to get these on ice as soon as possible to keep the flavor. Once they warm up, they take on a muddy flavor. That's ready to take home and put in the frying pan. Alright, so you've caught your trout, you cleaned it, hopefully you got it on ice right away. Nothing will change the flavor and texture of a trout like leaving it in lukewarm water for hours on end. You really want to get it on ice as soon as possible for the best tasting product in the end. Right now what I want to do is share with you a very simple recipe. You can cook it on a tailgate, campsite, at home, and it only takes a few ingredients. But it is one of my favorite ways to cook trout. So let's check it out. Alright, here's the ingredients that we're going to use today. So jalapeno, dill, garlic, lemon, olive oil, and some seasonings. Now, if you don't have any of these, that's fine. It'll turn out pretty good with nothing more than salt and pepper and a little bit of olive oil or butter. These are my favorite seasonings to use on fish. Today I'll be using the Harrod's Cookhouse lemon and dill seasoning. These other two are also really good. Let's start by preparing the fish. We're going to cut some small cuts into it. Now this will do a few things. It'll allow seasoning to get into the fish, and it will keep the fish from curling in the pan. Speaking of pan, I'm going to be cooking this on a small cast iron skillet. You can cook this in a pan, or you can cook it on a barbecue grill. Now we're going to season our fish. Just kind of let it open those little score marks up. You don't have to be shy with it. Put as much on as you want. I like to coat it in a little bit of olive oil. Alright. Now we're going to fire up the pan. Get that warmed up. I like the pan to be about a medium-high heat. Starts to get up to temperature, add a little oil. When the oil glides on the pan, you know it's getting close to a good cooking temperature. Now, here's what really makes this recipe for me. Take some sliced garlic and jalapeno, and we're going to fry it up in this oil. Just be careful not to scorch the garlic. It won't taste good. That's really going to bring us so much flavor out. Alright, that's pretty good. We're going to take some of our lemon. Careful you don't scorch your pan. We're just going to set this aside for a minute. Actually, that's probably enough for this little fish. Alright, what we're going to do now is take this lemon, put it in the cavity here, and add some of our dill. And if you really want the flavor kicked up another notch, add some of this garlic and jalapeno in there. And again, if you don't have this stuff, don't worry about it. If you can get it, it is really good. Alright, so we've got our trout prepared. Now we're going to get the pan back up to temperature. Alright, so it looks like we're back up to temp. We're going to put the trout on there. You really don't have to cook this for very long. Get a nice sear and then flip it, kind of like cooking a steak. Alright, so we're going to flip this over. Ooh, skin, try and get the skin up. It's stuck a little bit. Oh, we're a little dark there. A little dark. It'll be just fine. So what we're watching for is this color change right here. Hopefully you can see that. We want that color change to go all the way through. And once the meat gets flaky, and it just peels off the bone. Just before it's finished, add a little lemon to it. Alright, so my color is all the way through. It's very flaky. The meat pretty much just pulling apart. So we're going to pull this off and make some sides. Boy, that really is wanting to stick there. Now for sides, anything goes well. Rice, asparagus. Today I'm going to do some green beans. I'm just going to fry them up in the skillet here. Alright, so that's our finished product right there. Looks delicious. Alright, let's give this a little taste. Oh yeah, super flaky. Moist. Looks delicious. That jalapeno really goes well with the citrus. It gives it a little bit of spice and really kicks the citrus flavor up a little bit. That's delicious. If you want to eat the skin, you can. Like I said earlier, oh, that skin is really good. Don't worry if you get it a little dark. That's what the skin's there for. It protects the meat of the fish. This is really good. If you're new to fishing, you're new to cooking fish, don't be afraid of it. Really easy to cook. You can bake it, you can fry it, you can barbecue it. Any number of ways to eat this. The main thing is the more care you put into keeping it fresh, the better the end product's going to taste. So I'm going to finish eating my lunch, and hopefully I'll see you guys out on the water.